Newly crowned UFC welterweight champion Belal Muhammad recently spoke about his potential next opponent. While many MMA pundits predict that his next fight will be against the undefeated, third-ranked UFC phenom Shavkat Rakhmonov. But Belal Muhammad has expressed interest in facing former UFC champion Kamaru Usman at UFC 310 December card of McGregor-Chandler. Despite this, fans seem to be more excited about a potential bout with Rakhmonov rather than Usman, who has suffered recent losses to Khamzat Chimaev and Leon Edwards. Edwards, notably, lost the title to Muhammad. Adding to the intrigue, there's been some back-and-forth banter between Muhammad and Usman on Twitter.
Man, hopefully I get something at the end of the year. Maybe that December card. That would be like the perfect moment for me. I think that would be perfect turnaround time.
The December 10th card is there?
Yeah.
Michael Chan was saying some stuff. And not that you have to call them out anymore. You're absolutely right. But is there anyone that interests you more than other fighters might?
I mean, when I look at the division, obviously like the guy that's the highest ranked is Shavkat, and he's the boogeyman of the division. So that one makes sense. But I mean, there's also Usman right there as well. I know he's on a losing streak, but legacy-wise, he was the guy that Dana White said is better than all the other champions. Dana White said he was better than GSP. So for me, it's like he looked good in the Khamzat fight, and he took that fight on a couple days' notice. He was like chirping with me a little bit on Twitter, so I'm like, bro, there's not a clear number one contender when you look at it. Like Shavkat's undefeated, but it's like he beat Wonder Boy, and I beat Wonder Boy, and I still had to win 4 more fights after that. So there's nobody out there that I'm looking at it like.
The current chairman of the General Entertainment Authority of Saudi Arabia, Turki Alalshikh, accused Canelo Alvarez of being greedy and avoiding challenging fights, particularly after his loss to Dmitry Bivol. Turki Alalshikh claims that Canelo is asking for big money for easy fights. He also suggested that Canelo is afraid of fighting top contenders like Benavidez and Terence Crawford, and is making excuses with unrealistic financial demands. On Twitter, he said, "I heard what Canelo said, that he respects me but doesn't like the way we do business. As for him respecting me, it doesn't matter to me if he does or not. As for the way I do business, I know why he doesn't like it, because I only target big fights at fair prices, so of course. Anyone who likes easy fights won't like that. And I know how he feels after losing to Bivol, so he's been looking for easier fights ever since. Also, I'm not the one who's afraid of fighting Benavidez or Crawford. Therefore, I knew he was wasting our time and making excuses with big amounts of money that can't be paid. So I'm continuing my way to make big fights that serve the boxing world, and he's on his way to making easy show-only fights." Robert Whittaker against Khamzat Chimaev was originally scheduled for June 22, 2024 at the Kingdom Arena in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Chimaev pulled out of the fight due to a health issue. The fight has been rescheduled for UFC 308 at the Etihad Arena in the United Arab Emirates. Former champion Robert Whittaker has explained why he accepted the Khamzat Chimaev fight, stating that he actually requested the matchup with the UFC.
Yeah, unfortunately, the business isn't completely run on merit. A lot of it is, but there are a lot of times and moments when it's just not. Chimaev is a hard fight. He's obviously a big draw, especially over there in Abu Dhabi. So he's a draw. And I think the UFC, story-wise, wants to see Chimaev get, a shot at the champion or whatever. They want to see Chimaev like up the top of the ladder. They want to see him in that picture. But I love disrupting their plans. I love derailing their stories. That's why I took the fight. I asked for the fight. It wasn't offered to me. I asked for straight after the last fight. I was like, I saw that there was an Abu Dhabi card in October. Timeline fits perfectly. And I was like, I'll fight Chimaev again. Let's do it again. Just make sure he turns up. I look forward to hard fights. I look forward to these fights. And I know that if I beat Chimaev, there is nothing in my way to getting my belt back. Chimaev, as dangerous as he is, I don't go into these fights thinking about what I have to lose. I'm going to get in there in October. And I'm going to put the 1-2, how do you deal on him? And then, worry about a title shot after that.
You guys are really bad. Fox is bad. Everybody's bad. Cut through the BS and vote for who you think is the most fit to run the country.
UFC President Dana White criticized CNN and Fox News for their biased opinions and one-sided reporting. He said, "You guys are so bad." Dana White is known for being an outspoken speaker. When talking with CNN, he wasn't afraid to give his honest opinion about major media outlets and political issues.
campaign has already gotten pretty nasty. I think people expected it to get nasty now that there is a new head of that Democratic ticket. It's the Vice President, Kamala Harris. You know, you have joked before that politics is way nastier than sports or the UFC. But what we're seeing, I mean, there's a labeling of the Vice President as a DEI hire. You yourself have prided yourself on giving both men and women opportunities at your organization. What do you think of this message that attacks the race and gender of an opponent?
Yeah, I don't judge people by their politics, who they vote for, or any of that stuff. And listen, I don't know Kamala. She seems like she's a nice person. I have nothing against her whatsoever. And like I said, I'm not political, but do I think that she is fit for the job? I do not, personally. Politics are the most disgusting, nasty. It's atrocious what is said in politics. And the things that are being said on one side are being said on the other side too, about Trump and about his choice for vice president. It goes both ways. This isn't like, oh my God, look what's being said about Kamala. It goes both ways. They're both saying it. And like you said, it's already heated up and gotten nasty. And like you said earlier, it's only going to get nastier.
I don't know that it's going both ways to have the childless cat lady comment or a DEI hire. Who's calling you think that Vice President Kamala Harris is calling JD Vance a DEI hire, Dana? Come on.
But either way, she's going to say other nasty stuff about both of them. It goes both ways. As voters, what we need to do is cut through all the BS, and you have to look at who do you think is best fit to run the country for the next 4 years. That is our job as voters. All of this stuff is a bunch of nasty BS. Who's best fit to run the country? You as a voter, that's what you need to decide. Not, oh my God, he said this, and oh my God, she said that. There's going to be a lot of that over the next several months. And especially the media. Cut through all the BS that the media on both sides. You guys are really bad. Fox is bad. Everybody's bad. Cut through the BS and vote for who you think is the most fit to run the country. That's our job as voters.
UFC lightweight champion Islam Makhachev injured his hand at UFC 302 while fighting against Dustin Poirier. If he were healthy, his next challenge for the title would be the #1 contender, Arman Tsarukyan, at UFC 308. Now that Islam is out until next year, Arman Tsarukyan is open to fighting Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, or Michael Chandler for the interim lightweight title.
I saw Dustin Poirier was talking to Mike Bond on MMA Junkie, and he proposed that maybe like you and him have an interim title fight. What would your reaction be to an interim title? Would you want to do an interim title fight?
If Islam can fight this year, for sure I would like to fight for the interim title.
What do you think about this Dustin Poirier fight for the interim title?
Dustin Poirier, he's a solid fighter, and he has a lot of experience. Yeah, it would be great. Dustin, Gaethje, Michael Chandler as well. So, but my focus on Islam.